What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to In the Lane podcast. This is the podcast where your favorite New England athletes, coaches, and more are interviewed and answered questions ranging from their sport, their life, and everything else in between. I'm your host, Mike Lane, and today we welcome former Pentucket and St. John's Prep wrestler and now a current Stanford wrestler, Tyler Knox, coming up next on In the Lane podcast. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is the 8th edition of In the Lane podcast, recorded at the North Andover Community Access Station on Main Street here in North Andover, Massachusetts. I'm Mike Lane, the host of the show, and joining us today is our guest, Tyler Knox. Thanks for coming on the show, Tyler. I'm so excited you are here. Maybe not in person, but definitely here virtually.
Yeah, man, excited to be on it.
First of all, how was Hawaii? I was seeing your Instagram posts, and it looked like you were having a blast. So how was it?
Yeah, Hawaii was awesome. You know, it was great to give back to the local wrestling community there, and as well as enjoy some of the culture that they have to offer. I think that we definitely got a pretty authentic experience in terms of dining and activities. And overall, it was just a really good trip, and it was a great reset before I head back to school.
That's awesome. So let's get this underway. Growing up, how did you get into the sport of wrestling?
So my older brother wrestled. And, you know, when you're younger, you just kind of want to do what your older brother does because you think he's really cool. Mm-hmm. So once he started wrestling, I kind of started wrestling, and then from there it took off.
And was he the only relative that wrestled, or were there any other family members?
My uncle actually wrestled, too, on my mom's side.
Nice. So it kind of runs in the family, you'd say?
A little bit, yeah.
And did you participate in any other sports?
Growing up, I played a lot of sports, definitely tried, you know, everything, but I really stuck with football and wrestling. I think I played football for like 11 years growing up.
Wow. What made wrestling stand out from the rest?
I really like the individual aspect, you know. If someone like misses a block on the football field, you can kind of write the blame off on them or, you know, your coach or other people not making the right thing, but in wrestling, it's solely on you.
Was there ever a moment you were young or even recently while wrestling where you were just really struggling and you might have felt like you wanted to quit? But why did you stick through? I mean, you're an All-American now, so you definitely stuck through the challenges.
Yeah, I mean, even to this day, there's going to be ups and downs. You know, I'm in a Division I wrestling room, so everybody's good. There's days that, you know, guys get the better of me, and it's all about the process, though, just sticking to it and trusting that, you know, even though you might not be able to feel the results, you're still getting better. And I know that it's definitely been true throughout my whole career. I remember a couple points and when I was younger, maybe in elementary or middle school, wanting to quit, but I just stuck through it and then persevered.
Absolutely. And growing up, did you have a favorite wrestler, and did you aspire to be like them, whether you wrestled like them or they have a great mindset and you wanted to like match that?
I liked all the good like local wrestlers when I was in elementary school, just for, like the high schoolers. Mm-hmm. Just because, you know, my brother was a wrestler in high school and he would like talk them up a little bit, so it kind of made me put them on a little bit of a pedestal that they were really good.
Got it. So later on in life, you stuck with wrestling. If I'm right, you started at Pentucket and then you transferred to St. John's Prep?
Yes, correct.
So going into your first year wrestling at Pentucket, what was it like? Were you on varsity? Were you on JV? Like, what was that process like?
Yeah, I was pretty lucky. I started wrestling pretty young, so also Pentucket's wrestling program isn't very strong, so I was able to jump in the lineup.
You were only at Pentucket for 1 year, and then you eventually transferred to St. John's Prep. What led to that decision?
You know, just better education, better training partners. You know, they have opportunities that really no other school in the area can provide.
Absolutely. When was the moment you knew that you wanted to wrestle in college and pursue wrestling at the next level?
I wouldn't say there was like one specific moment that I can recall. I think that, you know, basically once I like started or heard about like college wrestling in the sport, I probably wanted to wrestle just because that's like the highest level. Mm-hmm. But there's not like one specific moment that I can recall that was like, oh, like I want to do this.
Did you have a favorite college wrestling team growing up, and did that play a role in your recruiting process?
No, not really. I didn't really have a favorite college wrestling team. Yeah, so there was no aspect there in my recruiting process.
And what schools were recruiting you? Like, when did they start trying to
Yeah,
talk to
I
you?
committed pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because of that, I think that, my stock wasn't as high in recruiting, so I didn't have as many schools as I think I could have if I waited to senior year because I committed at the beginning of junior year. But I heard back from like Cornell, Navy, Mason, Indiana, Stanford, Columbia, Brown, American. Might be like missing one or two schools, but those are the schools that kind of were really interested.
That's great. Was it a tough choice committing to Stanford? I know that was early, but did you have to think about it, or was it kind of an easy choice to sign with Stanford?
So I would say it's as easy. It was as easy as a choice could be when you're committing to a college. It's such a big life decision and such a big part of your future. But I really thought that Stanford was the best choice for me. And basically, on the plane ride back, I'd already verbally committed for my visit.
That's incredible. But what made Stanford stand out from the rest? Because you stated a lot of great schools like Cornell, American,
Yes.
George Mason. Why Stanford?
Yeah, so Stanford's just such a great academic institution. Obviously, one of the best in the world. But I think what sets it really apart is the athletics. The athletics are also one of the best in the world. And when you combine the two, there's really no better opportunity for succeeding.
Yeah, so definitely the great athletic program, but also the academics definitely
Oh,
made
yeah.
you sign. What was your first collegiate match at Stanford?
My first collegiate match was against Duke at home.
Was that during your redshirt year?
That was during my redshirt year, yeah, but I ended up wrestling that as a season opener.
Nice. And how did that match go? Was it difficult or?
I ended up winning by tech fall, I believe. But tough kid, Division I wrestler, obviously. So, yeah.
How many matches did you wrestle your redshirt year?
I'm not sure. Maybe about 15.
What was the competition for you to get that starting role? Because to get the spot as a redshirt and then a redshirt freshman, I would say pretty difficult.
Yeah, that first year, it was pretty tough competition. There's another good guy at my weight, but ultimately I ended up deciding to redshirt, even though we battled it a couple times in matches. But talked to the coaches, and they thought it was a good idea to redshirt.
What was your most memorable win and loss from high school and most memorable win at college so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to put like one memorable win. Or some good wins in high school was probably when I won junior NHSCAs and senior NHSCAs in the finals. Those were pretty cool because there was a big stage. And then in college, my most memorable win would probably be winning like Midland finals.
What was your record last year?
To be honest, I have zero clue.
You try to just like wrestle, move on. You don't really think about that much.
Yeah, you gotta not worry about that stuff. It's such a long season, and at this level, everyone's good.
Yeah,
It's just keep winning, keep getting better every week, keep trying to get your hand raised.
absolutely. Just wrestle, win or lose. Great, move on. Go to the next one. All you can do.
Yeah.
What are your upcoming goals for this season? I know you placed 8th at nationals this year, but
Yeah.
what are your goals this year?
I guess goal's the same every year. Win, have fun, hopefully be on the top of the podium at the end of March.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the team does very well this year. I think we have a very good squad, but yeah.
Since you talked about your goals for this upcoming season, what are the team's goals for this upcoming year? Is it dual meet title, place well at nationals? What's the overall goal as a team?
Yeah, so coming into this year, I think we have high hopes to bring back a team trophy at NCAAs. We have two guys back that are definitely vital parts of our lineup that redshirted last year. And I think that the highest Stanford's ever placed at the NCAA tournament was 14th, so I think we're definitely going to try and top that this year, hoping everything goes well, the lineup holds up and no injuries.
Since this new age of college athletics, transfer portal has greatly been used. Have you met any new transfers that have now committed to Stanford, or have you met any other new recruits that look promising and could make an impact in the lineup?
Yeah. So as far as transfers goes, Stanford's very hard to get into, especially as a transfer. So we don't really get much of those. But this freshman class, I had the chance to meet them. Been out here for a couple weeks now. They're back on campus doing new student orientation, and they're pretty solid. I think that specifically one that stands out to me from what I've heard is a 97-pounder. 197-pounder Angelo. I think that he'll have some big impacts. Maybe jump into the lineup this year. We'll see.
This is a good question. What is your favorite warm-up song before a match?
I don't like to listen to music actually before my matches.
You don't?
I just like to hear the arena, hear the whistles, hear the crowd. Yeah.
I haven't heard that from anybody, but it's a great answer. What's your favorite thing to do when you're not wrestling?
At Stanford, it would be surfing. Pick that up.
Surfing.
Cali. Went to Hawaii this year, picked up surfing. But when I'm back home, it's fishing. Sure.
Nice. Since you're a student athlete, do you go to many other sporting events to represent your fellow Cardinal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely during the summer when I have a little more free time, when we're just training, working. I try to get out there, support, men's soccer, women's soccer, women's lacrosse, whatever we can. But during the school year, it definitely gets tough to, once school picks up, it's hard to go and support those people. But I think that when the season ends in the spring, we definitely try to get out to all those spring games for the teams. And then I think that they really try to make an effort to get to our dual meets as well. So it's kind of a nice little mutualism that we have going on.
What is your favorite match that you've ever wrestled in? Why is that?
So my favorite match so far in college would probably be either the Blood Round and NCAA's, obviously, because that match held a lot at stake. And then I like the Iowa dual meet just because it's Wrestle City out there. We were at their place. It was pretty cool. Had some of my family pull up. There was 12,000 people there, so wrestling in front of a huge crowd, which is definitely the biggest crowd I've ever wrestled in front of solely. Those are the two ones that stand out for sure.
I remember that Iowa duel. It was all over Flow Wrestling and all the college websites, Tyler Knox upsets Drake Ayala, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this guy is insane. I want to see this guy go far.
Appreciate it.
I know you're only a sophomore, but do you have any ideas of what you'd like to pursue in terms of a career? What's your degree in? Have you thought about coaching or maybe going to the Olympics? What are you thinking post-graduation at Stanford?
Definitely not sure yet. I'm getting a degree in science, technology, and society, which is kind of like the business degree for Stanford. They're just a little bit fancy, so they don't have a technical business degree. But within my major, there's 7 tracks that you can take, and I'm on the business innovations track. So it's just about the closest thing that you can really get to a business degree.
Business, okay.
But as far as post-college, I'm not sure. It's keeping a lot of doors open.
Yeah.
Just living in the moment, trying to, self academically and athletically.
Now, since you're living on the West Coast, how different is it from living on the East Coast? You're a Groveland kid. You went to St. John's Prep. Was it big of a culture shock when going out to California, or did you feel that you meshed in pretty well?
Yeah, I think that things are definitely done a little bit differently out here. Fashion-wise, in terms of interaction, maybe the vernacular is a little bit different. Biggest thing that stands out to me, though, is driving out here is a little bit different. The way they merge and, the way they have, bike lanes and stuff, and then their HOV lanes are, paid at certain times. So you got to kind of make sure you're not getting a ticket. Driving on the left lane of the highway in the middle of the day, you got to remember that stuff. There's a little bit different, but
got it.
Yeah, adjusted well.
You said fashion. What's different about the fashion on the West Coast rather than the East Coast? I'm genuinely curious.
I feel on the East Coast you don't see a lot of dudes wearing baggy jorts. It's really big out in California. Really surfer look, the long hair.
Surfer, okay. Who has been your biggest motivation for wrestling?
Yeah, I'd say that just my family in general, just trying to make them proud. It's not really one specific individual.
Have you ever tried freestyle or Greco-Roman wrestling, or are you more into staying traditional with folk style?
Yeah, so I tried a little bit of freestyle, not Greco. That's not my style, but I definitely like folk style a little bit better. I'm a lot more acclimated and used to it, and I think it fits a little bit better to my style.
Mm-hmm. Last question for today. If you could meet any wrestler, past or present, it could be anyone that's ever participated in the sport of wrestling, who would it be, and why would you choose them?
Probably Jordan Burroughs, right? The most successful American wrestler probably in history. Most world/Olympic titles.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it'd probably be him. Just 'cause, he's been so successful.
Do you know that he's doing a clinic at Belmont on Saturday? This upcoming Saturday, the 20th?
I think I saw something about that online. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah, I'm going to that on Saturday, and I'm so excited. I had a feeling that you might say Jordan Burroughs because he's probably the greatest wrestler of all time, if not the greatest. I can't wait to see like what he teaches and how he goes about teaching like wrestling moves, but also just life in general. Him being an Olympic champ, the struggles that he's had to go through, meet him and just learn all the cool stuff. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Sweet.
Tyler,
Awesome.
it was a dream come true to have you on the show. I don't know about you, but I think this might have been one of my greatest interviews, and it's really up there when it comes to like who could I get for a really cool guest. And I was thinking some names, and then when I met you at Haverhill, it crossed my mind instantly. I have to ask him to get on my podcast. And I was originally hesitant, but meeting you for the first time was just really cool, and I'm glad we got to do this. And best of luck next year at Stanford and beyond.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
And I will definitely...
Good luck to you as well this year.
Thank you so much. And I know I'm wearing a Virginia Tech shirt right now, but I will get at least a Stanford shirt for when the season comes.
Stanford merch.
Absolutely. I saw some cool shirts, so I'll definitely get on that. And when wrestling season comes, even when Stanford is wrestling Virginia Tech, when you're on the mat at 133, I will be rooting for you.
Heck yeah.
So how? Yes, absolutely. Just want to remind all the listeners that you can listen to In the Lane podcast on YouTube and Spotify, and you can also check it out at northandovercam.org and type In the Lane podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to drop a follow and a 5-star rating. You can also check out In the Lane podcast on Instagram. Make sure to drop a follow and stay tuned for announcements for upcoming episodes. For our guest, Tyler Knox, joining us for this episode, I'm your host, Mike Lane, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.